Hi guys, and welcome to a coffee chat. I'm Dr. Boomer Brown with Doing Good at Work, and thank you for taking a few minutes of your time to invest in your life to make your life better. Well, last couple of weeks we've been talking a little bit about this question of who am I? And we've been asking, where does one get its self-esteem? Where does one get their self-value, their self-worth, their self-confidence? We gave you some ideas about that. And then we looked at how the human being is actually designed, looking for clues that maybe would answer the question of who am I? Well, every human being has a body. It's how we relate to the physical world. We have a soul. It's that internal part of us made up of three parts: the mind, the will, and the emotion. And we also have a spirit part. And I said a few weeks ago that we probably are more spirit than we think. It's the realm that we live in as well as the physical realm that we live in. So today I want to take the center part, the soul, and I want to start breaking down each one of these three component parts. Okay? And the first one we're going to start to break down today is going to be the mind. Now I want to draw you a drawing over here where you can see it, and you can download that there. I'm going to draw three circles here. If you're looking at your diagram, you're going to see that there are three circles that make up the mind. And the first circle is the conscious mind. I'm going to abbreviate. And the second circle is the subconscious mind. And the last circle is the creative subconscious. Each one of these does a specific thing inside your mind. First of all, there are four functions that the conscious mind does. We start by perceiving things. We perceive things. We use our senses, our sight, our sound, our touch and feel, our taste, our smell. We use these five senses to perceive what's happening outside of our body, and we bring that into our mind. Once we perceive something and we get an idea, something triggers us, something reminds us of something, we then begin to associate it with something. And this is very important because what you associate it with is directly burnt on the subconscious mind. You see, the subconscious mind is that place where you store information. It's where your beliefs are stored. It's where your attitudes are stored. It's where experiences and habits are stored. So whenever you perceive something, then you ask the question, have I ever seen anything like this? That's the association. And we go straight down here to our subconscious mind where we're looking at this record. And as we look at the record of all of our experiences, all the things that we recorded on mind, we ask this question, and it really is the evaluation question. Do I want to be a part of this? Do I like this? Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? It's all predicated upon what's written on the record. This happens in a nanosecond. Okay? So we perceive things, we associate things, we evaluate things, and then the fourth thing that your subconscious mind does is we decide. We make a decision. So you can see inside the human being, in the mind component of the soul, you have these three component areas, and you are asking yourself, what am I perceiving? What do I associate it with? How am I evaluating this, and what will I decide? And realizing all along, every experience that you ever have is burnt on the subconscious mind. And I say, well, what's the purpose of the third part of the mind? Well, that's the creative subconscious. If you want to change anything, this is where you store your energy. This is where you store creativity. This is where you resolve conflict. This is where you maintain sanity. Sometimes when all this is upside down, it's here where you engage your creative subconscious to actually weigh on your subconscious mind to help you manage this in such a way so that you maintain sanity, are able to create things, you're able to do something different than you normally would do. This is what's happening in your mind. This is all happening inside your soul. It's pretty exciting, these three components, all this good. And let me say this, that whatever you perceive, that, we don't actually live our lives in accordance to what the real truth is. most of the time we live our lives in accordance to what we perceive the truth to be. That's why sometimes in your who I am component, that self-image, that self-worth, that self-value, that place inside you, you may not have the actual truth. You may be living on a perceived truth. And that's how sometimes you can get a dysfunctional, a boo-booed self-image, self-worth, self-confidence. And you're wondering where that comes from? It comes straight out of the mind and the soul. So there's two more parts of the soul that we're going to talk about over the next couple of weeks. So I hope you come back and listen to the coffee chat next time. Download the little diagram there. All the information I share today is there for you. Share it with someone else. Draw it yourself. Make it your own. And understand that as human beings, our self-worth, our self-value, our self-confidence, all those things that are inside us are being shaped all the time by not just what we perceive, but by other things. All right? So I look forward to seeing you next week. And as always, thanks for being a part of the Coffee Chat, and I'll see you next time here on a Coffee Chat.